Part two, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it has.
You just got back from your what? Where'd you go?
I was in Japan, India, Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Find any spiritual awakening on your journey?
No, but I mean, every travel I learn new stuff.
Okay.
Experience new things. Travel is extremely important, in my opinion. And a lot of opinions, but in my opinion, it's extremely.
You said Japan. That's where you went first?
Yeah, Japan.
How
Yep.
was it?
Japan is. I think the world could learn from Japan. Honestly.
In what way?
A lot of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And the discipline comes in it's not like a personal discipline. It's like a collective discipline. That's what it feels like. It feels like it's a community discipline. I'll give you like a little example. They don't eat and walk.
Mm.
How here we have a bag of chips or something. We're eating and we're walking. Or I barely even saw someone drinking coffee and walking. Because, in their heads, or at least I think, that you should be sitting down and, there's a time for everything. There's a place for everything. And so they didn't, I didn't see that. And I made sure I didn't do that because it's not like it's a law.
Yeah.
But it's a cultural thing.
Almost like a cultural customs in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
So they have this indigenous religion over there. I think the mainstream is, I think, Buddhism,
Mm-hmm.
and the indigenous religion is called Shinto, and it has to do with being one with the environment.
Buddhism is predominantly from India, right?
It originated
How did
in
it
India,
migrate into Japan?
just like any other religion. It migrated.
Made its way there?
Yeah. So Buddhism, I think, started in India. Siddhartha.
Mm-hmm.
Was from India, and then it spread throughout Southeast Asia, made it into China, and then crossed over to Japan, and I think South Korea. That part of the world.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, but the Shinto, that's very interesting. They got temples. They got it's, or I don't know if they have temples for Shinto. I'm not sure actually. I know they have Buddhist temples over there, but it's interesting in the sense that it's based off of like communal harmony,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very nature oriented. That you are not required, but it's your God given, it's your destiny to take care of your environment and be one with your environment. That you shouldn't pollute it or anything. Super clean, man. Even the alleyways. Think of Tokyo, I think it's like 15, 20 million people living in Tokyo. And the alleyways, you've seen our alleyways,
Mm-hmm.
like New York, California,
Terrible.
But in Tokyo, the alleyways were very clean.
Do they have a homeless issue in Tokyo?
Barely. I think I counted 3 homeless people that I saw. And honestly, they were dressed pretty decent. And they weren't pushy or anything. They were respectful homeless,
Interesting.
It's like it's still ingrained in their head that, hey, because there's an honor thing as well too,
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like those homeless were like extremely desperate, not just, hey, I'm deciding to be a homeless today.
Yeah.
Where, sometimes you see that different parts of the world.
It's not like in America.
Yeah.
They'll shank you for a pair of shoes.
Yeah. So in Japan, I got to go to Mount Fuji.
How was that?
Mount Fuji, looks wise, it reminded me of Mount Rainier in Seattle.
Really?
Yeah, but it probably has better proportions. It's a volcano.
Yeah.
And it has like really, it's known for its like almost perfect symmetry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful. And the Japanese, they consider it like really revered, and they consider it as a place where, it's spiritual for them.
Is it an actual active volcano, or is it?
I think it's active. Yeah, it's active. Yeah.
Oh man, they can go off any minute.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it can go off any minute,
Hmm.
but like it's one of the active volcanoes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Have
Uh,
you?
It's because it's a chain of volcanoes over there.
Yeah.
That's how Japan got created.
Did you visit any type of like samurai templates?
I didn't get to, and I plan to go back. I was there for just a few days, but I went into a Buddhist temple
Hmm.
over there, and which is it's interesting. It's there's not you could just walk in. There's no like rules, like certain places. Like in our tradition, you take off your shoes.
Hmm. Yeah.
You cover your head. Pretty much anyone could just walk in and just um, see what they're doing, and again, very clean, very neat. Um, it's worth checking out.
Are they all shaved? All the Buddhists in the temples?
I I don't think they were all like
Yeah,
buzz.
like bald. Because
No,
every time I've seen a Buddhist, at least around in America, it has like a
in
bald head.
in Taiwan, I saw them that they were pretty much bald. Not
Okay.
all the way, but pretty
Hmm.
much. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it has something to do with part of their like culture or
yeah,
tradition.
yeah. Are you looking to apply?
No, not yet. I still got some time left. Hey, you never know.
Yeah,
Trekking, if I get out of trekking, it might come back.
yeah. That's true. That is true.
And then what happened after that? You went to India.
I went to India. I was in India. I was in Punjab for probably about 2-3 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and I usually stay at my village, and it's for me it's peaceful.
Yeah.
Um, it's again
Mm-hmm.
ancestral land, ancestral house, um, and that's where I do connect. Some people are like, you know what, it's not for me. I make it a point to go there, and I make it a point to stay there. I don't stay at hotels or anything. At least when I'm over there, um, and that lets me reconnect.
Yeah.
And it's important to reconnect. And then I always walk over to the farmland. It's probably like half a kilometer or a kilometer away.
Mm-hmm.
I walk or ride a little like the old school bicycle over there,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of sit there and see, hey, this is land that's been in the house for hundreds of years, right? And that lets me connect as well too. Um, then after that, I went to Mumbai. I always go to Mumbai. Mumbai is the polar opposite.
How was that?
Um, 30 million people in one city, like the population of Canada or California in
Mhm.
one city. Can you imagine that?
How
And
big? How big is the city?
it's big.
I mean,
Uh,
relatively, how big? Like compared to California, is it as big as the whole state of
no,
California?
no, 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 no,
Smaller?
no, no. It's a like I don't know. Probably you're talking about landmass, right?
Yeah.
Probably New York, maybe. I don't know. Somewhere like I can't tell you on top of my head. Maybe something that's maybe the tech could put that in terms of landmass. But it's not like a size of a state or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a city.
Why do so many people live there?
Opportunity. I think it was a port city
Mm-hmm.
during the British. So it created a lot of opportunity, and then eventually it became the hub of like the movie scene,
Mm-hmm.
the Indian
Yeah, yeah.
Bollywood movie scene, and so that made it grow even more. Like how people move to, especially when they're younger, they move to L.A.
Mm-hmm.
thinking they're gonna make it as an actor, they're gonna make it as whatever. That's how it is in Mumbai. Different parts of the country, people move there thinking they're gonna make it big. Whether they do or they don't. Some of them end up staying there, some of them don't, and a lot of the labor comes over there too.
It's almost like a trap, though. I feel like you get cut into that mentality. I know people that moved to LA and very like 18, 19, and now they're in their 40s,
Right.
still
So
chasing
chasing that dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to chase dreams, but you got to look at what cost.
Yeah.
Time is money. Time is very important. So at one point, I always say build your foundation,
Yeah.
build your base. Like for me, real estate, right? And then after that, chase your pipe dreams.
Mhm.
I'm not saying don't chase them, and then work towards those dreams.
Yeah.
So Going back to Mumbai again, polar opposite from my little village in Punjab. Very very loud, very chaotic. But it's amazing. The city functions. Like when you're there, you're like, especially the first time you're there, you're like, where am I? You know,
Yeah.
this is extremely chaotic.
What's the sanitary like? Because I see a lot of Instagram videos.
In Mumbai?
Yeah.
In Mumbai, it's
Is it
dirty.
is it very dirty?
It's dirty. It's but there's certain parts that are clean,
Okay.
you know. But it's like every major Indian city. It's majority dirty and certain parts are clean. And you have to really experience it to understand it.
You know, I'm always thinking of the one guy from Instagram that cooks, the street vendor.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna go to him if I ever make my way there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. The guy that sits in the tiny little shop.
Yeah.
He's not from Mumbai though. He's from some other part. I don't remember where he's from. But India is a very interesting country, man. Like great people, you know, a lot of potential. I just don't understand why the potential doesn't come out. Like it has a really rich history. The coastline, you know, it's a really nice coastline, but like I don't understand why the potential is not coming out. And you know, and I hope it does come out. I want it. I want to see it because I go there all the time, and I want it to improve and get better and things like that. Which I think slowly
like?
Certain things are.
What's the religion like in India?
It's majority Hindu.
Okay.
I want to say probably 75-80% Hindu.
Are they like culturally Hindu or actually practicing Hinduism?
I don't know how the exact. I think it's a mix. If I had to put it, maybe probably 50-50.
Gotcha.
And Hinduism itself is very diverse. You know, South India and India in itself is very diverse. South India is so different. The language is different.
Yeah.
You know, the culture is different. The food is different. You know, a guy from like, you know, a different part of India cannot understand the South Indian, like in terms of like the language, completely different. And obviously vice versa. And so even in Hinduism, I feel like it's different. It's more of a collection of religions, is what I understood. Again, not an expert on this. And then there's a significantly large Muslim population too.
In Mumbai? Or
In Mumbai and in India. I think it's roughly close to about 15%. Which you think is not a lot.
Yeah.
But there's, I think, the second largest population. There's more Muslims in India than there are in Pakistan.
That's insane.
Yeah. They're like second or third largest population in the world of Muslims, like in one country.
Isn't India and Pakistan a conflict?
It is a conflict, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are the Muslims in India against Pakistan or they're in support of Pakistan?
Oh man, these are these are tough questions. Again, I'm still learning and studying. But I think what I'm understanding from the ground level, from my travels in India, I think it's more of a conflict between governments.
Oh, okay.
Rather than the people.
Gotcha.
Which is the case in a lot of places, you know. But obviously there's more people that are government sympathy, that have sympathy for the government on both sides, you know, and then there's people that have less sympathy, you know.
Yeah.
And so in that exact scenario, it's the same in between Pakistan and India. Because the Indian Armed Forces, they have Muslims, they have Christians, they have Hindus, they have Sikhs, they have all the faiths. You know, it's not like, hey, we're Muslim, we're not gonna join the Indian, army.
Mhm.
Um, they're joining because in their heads that, hey, this is a country that's given us whatever we've
Yeah,
gotten.
so they're more
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. It's not really, they're not going off of religion or anything. So I mean, they are going off of religion, but they're not going off of like, hey, I
Yeah,
should support Pakistan. Yeah,
gotcha. Well, it seems like a lot has happened since we did the last podcast
yeah,
because I think we did one on what? Spirituality.
yeah.
And then I left the country.
Mm-hmm.
Then you left the country.
Yeah,
When I came back, you came back, and then you left again.
yeah, yeah. I was
And
in I was in Puerto Rico that time,
yeah,
and then yeah. So it's good to jump back in though.
yeah, it's nice. It's always a good feeling to come back.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
So it's
uh,
interesting, but
I want to kind of pick up off of the last one a little bit. Um, we were talking about how, what spirituality is to
Mhm.
us, to you and to me. Um, and then how do we connect more? How do we cope with stress? How do we
Mhm.
cope with these things?
Yeah.
And how do we become, per se, more spiritual? I think I mentioned last time that I was more, uh, I whenever I got stressed or whenever I feel like I needed to let go of like more of the materialistic things, I would go work out,
Mhm.
go to the gym.
Yeah.
And for you, it was jujitsu.
Mhm.
And so did you want to elaborate more on that?
On what, jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. And how do you connect? How do you become more spiritual?
I think jiu-jitsu is it's not, at least for me,
Yeah.
right? It's not necessarily in a spiritual realm,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more of disconnecting from the reality of life.
Mm-hmm.
And as I mentioned, I guess last time I might have mentioned this, but when you're rolling on the mat, you can't think about anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible, right? So I don't know much about meditation because in being a Christian, we don't necessarily meditate, we pray.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're praying, you're constantly saying things, you're saying different prayers and stuff like that. So but when you're meditating, you're almost trying to shut off your brain from thinking about stuff. And when you're rolling on the mat, it's almost like you're disconnecting from the outside world,
Right.
right? You're in the moment and you're thinking about what's going on the mat. So you can have all the problems in the world, but when you're on the mat, you forget about everything. It's
Would you
insane.
would you say it's a form of meditation?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. I think any type of combat sports is a form of meditation. Even when, yeah, I don't know, it's weird because even when I did shows and I'd be doing a halftime show for the NBA,
Mm-hmm.
and when you're center stage and you got 20,000 people looking at you, you it's like your outside life doesn't exist for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the same way when you're rolling on a mat. You have a timer, 5 minutes, 6, 8, whatever it is, 2, 3. For that amount of time, your outside life does not exist. Does
Yeah.
that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a weird feeling.
I wanted to dive into, if you don't mind, into the shows that you did.
Yeah.
Um,
Old life. I'm actually trying to get back into it though.
yeah.
Not as a performer, but more as a producer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about that. You come from a Soviet background.
Mhm.
Your family was a old school like Soviet circus family, right?
Yep. Yeah. I was
And
born after the collapse, so I can't consider I don't fall in the Soviet category.
I mean,
You
your
know what I mean? But
parents,
my parents, yeah. Mhm.
and your uncles, right?
Yeah.
That worked in the
Mhm.
circus in the Soviet era, right? And then from there, you came to the United States,
Yeah.
and um, you used to come visit because
Mhm.
your parents did performances in
Yeah,
the
in
United
America, yeah.
States, right?
You got to look at circus. Now in today's world, we view circus kind of like the fucking clown, the jokester, that kind of stuff, right? The freaks.
Yeah, but it
But
was an art.
but it was an art, and it was at one point during like the 70s, the 80s. right? Being a circus performer in Soviet Russia, it was like being a Hollywood star. You're
Celebrity.
famous, you're a celebrity, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
And America lacked a lot of talent, right? Circus talent, because it wasn't culturally, America didn't really have that circus background. You have it from Russia, Brazil, China. That's why all the specialty acts come from different countries, right? You have the Russian bar, which is a form of acrobatics. That's why it's called the Russian bar. You have a flying trapeze, which is predominantly, I believe, from Argentina,
Mm-hmm.
right? Argentinian people are the best at it.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Chinese pole. You have all these different types of acts that did not originate in America.
Mm-hmm.
But America was good at building the circus business. That's why you have Ringling. There's a lot of shows, Cirque du Soleil,
Mm-hmm.
and what they did, because they didn't have talent. So if you look at the history, the circus history in other countries was based on talent, right? Like people who did amazing flips, people who did, invested a lot of time to learn something about a skill. The circus in America was about the freaks, right? The bearded lady, the guy with 3 eyes, well, all that freaky shit,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then what happened was, over time, you started having human activism,
Mm-hmm.
right? People were against, because essentially you're fucking finding freaks, disabled people, and you're monetizing off of them. So the whole industry started bringing in all this talent from foreign countries,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's how my parents came here. That's how a lot of immigrants that came here in the circus community came here.
What it was a special visa for that, right?
Yeah, it was an O visa.
O visa.
Yeah, I think it was an O1 visa. It's like
Okay.
special ability visa, where,
Got it.
so, and that's when the circus kind of took off in America,
Mhm.
like to a skillful circus. Because
Mhm.
before it was just a bunch of freaks, fat dudes, bearded ladies, all that, midgets,
Mhm.
all that stuff.
Mhm.
That's what the circus was,
Right.
not necessarily talent.
Mm-hmm.
And then as it evolved, they started bringing foreign people, talented people into the country.
Mm-hmm.
And then the circus evolved. And then it died off.
Mm.
Circus nowadays are not doing good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dead industry almost.
Mm.
People don't want to go watch a circus show anymore.
Wow. Interesting.
It
'Cause-
kind of blows my mind.
Because they got these phones that
They
they're
got the
addicted
phones,
to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
They don't want to leave their house.
no, man, it's
Yeah.
being, like, think about this. A Russian bar is 2 guys holding a pole on their shoulders about 12-foot length,
Mm-hmm.
and the width of that pole is roughly, I want to say, maybe 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's made out of flexible pole vaults,
Mm-hmm.
right? 3 of them glued together,
Mhm.
and now you have a Russian bar.
Mm-hmm.
You have a girl on top of it
Mm.
that jumps up 20, 30 feet in the sky and does double layouts.
This is what your uncles do,
That's
I
what
think.
my uncles did.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what my dad did. That's how he came here.
Oh, wow.
That takes years and years of training.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the trust you have to have on the base, right? You as a flyer are 20, 30 feet in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
You have to trust those 2 guys that they're going to catch you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they don't catch you, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And having that skill and being able to do that performance, and people rather look at, some Instagram hoes instead
Yeah.
of going and looking at some real talent. You know what I mean?
No, you're absolutely right. I've seen those, and your uncle showed me some of those videos.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm blown away. Like, I sometimes don't understand how, like, people sometimes give credit to things that don't matter, but this stuff,
Yeah.
like pushing human limits,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, it's almost like a intensified form of gymnastics put
Right.
into a performance.
Right.
But people give more credit to people on Instagram that do dumb shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It it blows my mind that this is what the world came to be.
Right. Right.
But
So let's talk about your performance. Fast forward, you were, I think genetically you got some of that talent as well too. And then you told me you were at a construction site.
yeah, so I don't think I was genetically predisposed to talent.
Yeah.
I think I was just exposed to it at an early age.
Okay.
Right. And I've done, like, you have to look at it this way, right? When you have, let's say you're a parent and
Mhm.
you have a toddler,
Mhm.
and you as a career, you're a manager, or you're a lawyer, or you're a doctor. You're not going to expose your kid to doing gymnastics or acrobatic, where you're not going to do, put your kid on a balance beam or have your kid walk on a ball, right? You're not going to expose to your kid to that kind of environment
Right.
because you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're something else. But when you're a circus performer,
Yeah.
your whole life is based around training,
Right.
right? Acrobatics, gymnastics, fitness, juggling, everything.
Yeah.
So as a kid, you grow up in that environment, and
Yeah.
now as a parent, you're in the circus. There's an elephant. I'm gonna put my kid on the elephant. Hey,
Yeah.
there's a baby tiger. We're gonna pet the baby tiger,
Yeah.
right? There's a unicycle. My kid is gonna ride a unicycle. So I got exposed to that environment in an early age,
Mhm.
which gave me a skill that a lot of people don't have, and that's being able to manipulate my body to do, you know, impossible things in a way.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I excel. My coach at jiu-jitsu, everyone at jiu-jitsu is always amazed by my balance.
Mhm.
I'm very hard to get
Mhm.
swept
Mhm.
because of my balance.
Mhm.
And everyone is always like, oh, there's Chris again, fucking doing balancing shit, right? So I was exposed to that. And then my uncles, they opened a circus school in Vegas.
Mhm.
And then when we fully migrated to America,
Mhm.
like established residency in America,
Mhm.
when you have your regular school and then all day, what do? I'm just hanging out of a circus
Roughly
school.
how old were you?
6th grade.
6th grade.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, what, 9, 10, something like that.
11.
11.
Yeah.
So I was in my uncle's circus school all day after school,
Mhm.
every Saturday, every Sunday. And what do? You jump on a trampoline, you start doing a backflip, you start getting on the trapeze, you start doing the bungee, you fuck around with everything you have in that circus environment.
Mhm.
And then there came a time when, you know, circus makes a lot of money,
Mhm.
right? Because the talent.
Right.
Talent is paid, right? Singers make a lot of money, actors make a lot of money.
Right.
Same thing with circus performers. You're making hundreds of thousands a year if you have a good act.
Mhm.
And I've always been good at balancing,
Mhm.
right? Because I was exposed to it. Unicycle, high wire, slack wire. I could
Mhm.
balance on a single ladder,
Mhm.
anything in between. So you start specializing in an act
Mhm.
because you can't, to be a good circus performer, you must be able to do the basics, which is obviously your unicycle, your juggling, your backflip, your front flip, your back handspring, just the basics. But you have to specialize in one particular thing if you want to make a career out of it. And you try everything. But what I liked was an act called the Rolla Bola.
Mhm.
The Rolla Bola is essentially well, I made mine out of PVC pipes, and I'll tell you why. But they're essentially pipes, right?
Mhm.
Cut to a certain length, and you stack them and you balance on top of wobbly pipes.
Mhm.
And when I wanted to do this act, here's another bullshit about circus. People that do the act, they don't want to tell you how they do the act or how they get their equipment because they don't want competition,
Mhm.
right? Because now it's a business.
Mhm.
So a lot of people made them out of aluminum, and it was a
Mhm.
very specific aluminum because it has to be lightweight for you to balance. Because it's heavy, then it makes everything more difficult. It's heavy to carry. The balance becomes more difficult. And so they're out of aluminum, but a very specific type of aluminum, but I couldn't figure out what it was.
Mhm.
So there was a construction site by my house that had just abandoned PVC pipes. They probably cut them and like left chunks out, but like garbage, little PVC, like leftover.
Mhm.
So I picked them up and I cut them to size, and then I started balancing on them.
Wow. How
And
old were you?
6th grade.
Oh,
Yeah,
just as you got to the country.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this
Okay.
all happened within the whole year. So then I started balancing, messing around with it, and you spend a lot of time in it. And then the anger kicks in when you don't get it. And then
Mhm.
you start throwing shit around. And my
Mhm.
dad came in the studio once in the circus school and he was like, yeah, that's not going to work out. Right. And he
Mhm.
left. He left to do a show for like 6, 7 months.
Mhm.
And I got pissed off at that. Like, damn, motherfucker told me I can't do this. Nah. So I ended up like on a discipline
Yeah.
schedule. Right.
Yeah.
And by the time he came back, I was doing a full act.
Yeah.
Right. So I was doing my whole act, and now you have to do choreography, right? Because you can't just balance. Now you have to have the costume. You have to have the music.
Mhm.
Now you have to understand, back then it was the circ era, right?
Yeah.
So you had circus, was slowly dying off. So when I came around, circus was declining because Cirque du Soleil, there was a guy named Guy Liberto who invented Cirque du Soleil. He created a new modern art, right? Different characters, styles, different forms of makeup, fucking gay-ass unitards, like that kind of stuff, right? That was the cool thing back then. That's what everyone wanted. That like Cirque shit. So then you have your costume. You know, we used to wear this unitards. It was ridiculous, man. You have your costume, you have your makeup, and then you have your music, and then you have your routine, your presentation, because you can't just do your act and walk off, right? You have to have engagement. So you build an act, you shoot a demo, and then now it becomes a difficult part. You got to book it, right? I didn't have an agent. I didn't have, you know, my dad was heavily reliant on agents, right? My dad didn't speak a lot of English. So I had to learn how to book shit myself. And then I just slowly started booking myself at like little birthday parties, little, you know, quinceañeras.
As a teenager.
As a kid, as a middle school, man.
Wow.
Yeah. As a middle school. Craigslist.
Dang, man. You're a hustler from day one.
Dude, Craigslist. Because people are always like, back then Craigslist was popping.
Yeah.
And people would always be, I'm looking for a clown at my kid's birthday party. And I'd pop in those emails and be like, hey, I'm not a clown, but I can do this shit for you, which is cooler. You know, $500 right here.
Yeah.
You know, and I started doing that and started doing that and then started doing that. And like, it slowly grew.
Yeah.
You know, and the industry started evolving bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, social media started kicking in. And,
social media, yeah. And a lot of people focused on shows, right? People in my career. They wanted to build an act. They wanted to go on a show and be part of they call it like a home show or a stationary show where you're like, you play the same character, the same act for contract, you know, which is cool. You made good money. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to be off stage. I wanted to hit the events, the corporate events, the weddings, the birthday parties, like where you do one performance and you make the same amount of money they make in a week, right? Because back then, performers probably made, based on how good your act was, you know, $85 a show, $90 a show. But you had good acts, right? Like very unique acts. But I think there was a guy a group, two guys that did like, you ever seen two Power Man guys that do handstands?
Yeah.
There was one team in Cirque at a show called, I think they were in Mystere at the Treasure Island. They were making thousands per show. 2 shows a night.
Wow.
7 days a week. They were like millionaires out of this stuff, right? But that wasn't me, right? Those guys are like very, very, very good at what they did. And unique, you know?
Okay. I wanted to talk like your particular act itself. It's a very rare act. I'm as far as I know, there's like probably less than like 20 people or 30 people in the world.
I think there's only 10 people in the world professionally.
At the level that you do, that do that, which is crazy in itself. Because, you know, there's 8+ billion people on this planet. And so that act got you to perform in NBA shows. And I wanted to ask you, I've seen your act. You know, I've seen it.
You've seen it live?
Yeah.
Took you to a couple of shows.
So that act itself, when you're, like you said, when you're in front of 20,000 people, how do you focus? Do you meditate before? What do you how do you do it?
I think about my paycheck. Seriously. You know, you go out, you get your paycheck. It's all I think about.
Yeah.
But
how do you shut off all the noise, all the distractions, everything? How do you shut that off and do that act?
You kind of have to, right? It's impossible not to, otherwise you can't do your act. Because when you're balancing, you have to be so focused, and there's so much things that are going around, right? I've worked in shows where like you have 20, 30 people in the audience. I've worked in shows where you have 20, 30, 40,000 people, been on live TV with millions of people watching. And the dynamic of every show is different, right? When you're in a smaller crowd, it becomes more intense because you can hear everything, right? And then you have the teenagers. Hey, you fucking suck. You know, you have those guys. Oh, I hope you fucking fall. Yeah, right? That happens.
Yeah.
you know. And it's funny because I used to be that kid too, you know. Everyone was,
Yeah.
but you have to like disconnect and not pay attention to that.
That's my question though. How do you disconnect?
You just don't pay attention to it,
Yeah.
you know. Like you're so focused on, like, think about an NBA game, right? That's a multi-million-dollar floor,
Yeah.
and you have, let's say it's a playoff game. It's a really, really big game. And you fall down and one of your cylinders damages that wooden floor, the whole game is off.
Yeah.
Right. So you have that responsibility.
Do you think, like, from a scientific point of view, from like chemistry point of view, like adrenaline, do you think that helps? Because like, do you feel like you get a rush of that?
Yeah, I think
And
you
that
get a high out
you
of
get
it.
you
Yeah.
get a tunnel vision, and the sound just it gets blocked. And,
No, I'm aware of everything that's going on.
Hmm,
You know, I see everything, and you
Yeah.
have to,
yeah.
because you have camera people walking around. So when you're in an NBA game, you've seen it. The camera guys are getting really close to my table. I've had situations when the basketball players are like, during the halftime, they're just shooting hoops. You know, people don't see them and on the video because the camera is so stationed to me, the camera angles. But there's players that are throwing 3-pointers. I've had where the ball bounced on my table during a halftime show as I'm balancing on top of all that shit.
No way.
Bounced on my table and it kept,
And you finished the act.
yeah, it didn't haze me. I mean, luckily it didn't hit my cylinders,
Yeah.
but you know, stuff like that happens. And then you have like basketball players just walking, you know, 2 feet away from your table.
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, it's like, dude, I can fuck you up if I fall.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't going to be playing this season if one of my cylinders lands on you, you know,
Yeah.
or if I land on you.
Yeah. I don't
And-
know why they wouldn't warn them or something like that. Cause
I don't know, man. It's people don't think about it. People think that I'm like this big professional and nothing can go wrong, but you fall.
You're human,
I've
yeah.
fallen a lot of times, you know.
oh, you have, okay.
Yeah, never at an NBA game though.
Yeah.
I broke my ribs at an NBA game. I've fallen behind stage. I was at the Portland Trailblazers. I was getting ready to go do my halftime,
Yeah.
and I have my table. You've seen my table that I balance on.
Mm-hmm.
It's got this aluminum feet on it, and it has 2 feet in the front and 1 foot in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And probably from over time, you know, my table being tossed around during baggage personnel at airlines,
Mm-hmm.
it broken some of the welds on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm balancing on 6 cylinders, which is like 12 to 15 feet high. And when I jump off of them to land on my table, the back leg caves in.
Mm-hmm.
And the back leg caved in and the whole table shifted. And think about it, that whole pressure, I landed on my ribs.
Mm-hmm.
I was laid off over there, man. Weirdest feeling, I was coughing blood.
Mm-hmm.
They came, they wheeled me out of there with a little, you know, when the ambulance comes and takes me with a little stretcher.
Oh,
And
geez.
as I'm like walking out, I make eye contact with LeBron James.
Really?
Yeah, I see him all the time. You know,
Oh, okay.
It's like I've been doing this since 2013.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't have a relationship with basketball players.
But they see you, and
but
you,
they see
you,
me.
you see them.
Yeah, they
you know.
see me like, oh, dude,
This guy again.
30, 40 times a year, you know,
Yeah.
because it might be at their home game.
Yeah.
It might be they're playing someone else's home game. And I'm
Mhm.
like, you know, it's always there. Like there's a video on YouTube of Stephen Curry looking at my act and clapping,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So during the Golden State Warriors
Yeah.
game.
So he looks over at you. They take you out in the stretcher.
Yeah, he just gives him that look. It's like this fucking guy again. That's funny.
And then you also performed in America's Got Talent.
Yeah, so that's
and
what
you were
kinda-
one of the finalists.
No, I was a quarterfinalist.
Quarterfinal. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
a finalist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the finalist was a loophole to get more shows.
Oh,
Right.
got it.
That was I had a buddy of mine who was a producer,
Uh-huh.
and he's out of New York. And,
Yeah.
and I was like, hey man, because he's always sending emails out to book me, and he's like, yeah, he's a finalist on America's Got Talent. I was like, yo, Michael,
Mm-hmm.
I was a quarterfinalist.
Yeah.
He's like, is the word finalist in it?
That's exactly what I just
was like,
said.
yeah, I guess I was a finalist.
Yeah, yeah. So walk me through that. I think something happened with your eyes. And,
Oh, yeah,
and,
the
and
contacts.
Yeah, and because of the fire.
Yeah, but man, that could have been bad.
Yeah,
You know, that's what you ever heard of her saying young and dumb?
yeah.
I was young and dumb. So I
Yeah.
did my act, but I put a ring of fire around me.
How old were you, if you don't mind me asking?
High school, I was maybe
17, 18?
2013. So I graduated 2013. Yeah, so I was about 17, 18.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I went on America's Got Talent,
Mm-hmm.
which is the best experience
Yeah.
for a high schooler, right? I was a celebrity in my
course.
high school, being on TV.
Right.
I went to a charter school,
Uh-huh.
so my principal advertised me everywhere, just to get more students.
Right.
Um, even though I wasn't academically the best, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went audition, I got in, and then it was also the season because America's Got Talent consisted of like mostly magicians, singers,
Mm-hmm.
and my season was the actual season that rolled out this circus shit.
Mm-hmm.
That was never seen before. So the audience was so big,
Mm-hmm.
for America's Got Talent. And I went in, did my audition, and I made it to the quarterfinals. Right, that was a bunch of rounds before. I made it to the quarterfinals, and what did I do? Yeah, I did. I was doing the fire concept
Mm-hmm.
at that time, and I barely climbed on them.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole idea was to climb on I think it was like 7 or 8 of them.
7 or
Yeah,
8
they were a lot higher.
PVC.
Mhm.
Jeez,
Yeah, so
man.
climb on them and do a 360 spin while the fire lights up in a ring around you.
Mm-hmm.
And during my quarterfinals, I climbed, but I climbed wrong,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit too much to the edge.
There's a clip on YouTube on that, right?
There's 2 of them. I fall twice on America's Got Talent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the first one was like just the cylinders collapsed and I landed the table. And that's
the
it.
tech needs to put that in.
Yeah, you can put it on the YouTube
Yeah.
thing, and then I got kicked off the show pretty much, right?
Mm-hmm.
But America's Got Talent had this concept called the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
And it's essentially when all the judges get to pick a certain amount of acts that got kicked off
Mm-hmm.
or disqualified,
Mm-hmm.
come back and try again
Mm-hmm.
to make it to the semifinals. And Howie Mandel picked me, which is odd because he was talking shit about my act at first.
Really?
Yeah. And he picked me, and I came back, and I used to do shows with no contacts,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it was about this time that I started getting contacts. So I did the whole concept. I did 6 cylinders this time. I didn't go that high because the higher you go, the smaller your balance has to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I did 6 cylinders, still had the pit of fire, and I had the contacts. And I was doing the spin, and as I was about to finish,
Contacts in your eyes.
like my eye contact, they
Yeah.
started drying up
Yeah.
because of the
The
flames,
heat.
the
Yeah.
heat.
Yeah.
And I haven't rehearsed with them
Mhm.
with contacts.
Mm-hmm.
So they started drying up,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't see at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the video, I fall,
Mm-hmm.
and the way the ring was made, so you had 2 pipes,
Mhm.
right? So you had 2 half pipes,
Mhm.
1 pipe,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had a little gap,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had the second pipe finishing the loop,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there was a gap to my left and a gap to my right.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I fell right through that gap.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have fell a second before or a second after,
Mm-hmm.
I would have probably been like a burn victim right now.
Oh, wow.
I'd been fucked up. I mean, those are like pyro flames on that thing.
Wow.
So I made it right to that gap, dude. It's like a miracle how it happened,
Wow. Yeah.
And I just stood back up and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And I kicked the cylinder.
Wow. So that kind of leads me into kind of reeling it back into, spirituality and belief systems
Mhm.
and, religious belief systems. Kind of leads me into the next question. Because, like, some of these things while you were performing, you could have died.
Yeah, I could have died a lot of times.
Yeah. You could internal bleeding, your lungs puncture your,
Yep.
Your ribs puncture your lungs. A lot of things could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever think about death?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of try.
I'm talking about right now.
No, right? No,
No.
not
Okay.
really.
Yeah.
You have these moments in life where you question it,
Mm-hmm.
but I was actually talking to my brother about it last night, and he, we're talking about like trust and like things for your kids and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, I have a feeling I'm not gonna die anytime soon.
Mm.
It's just I almost have that gut feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little bit more time before I can start thinking about it.
Yeah.
you know.
Do you think about? I mean, sometimes people are like, "Hey, I don't think about my own death." Do you think about death of your loved ones?
Yeah, I've already experienced death of my loved ones, and
Yeah.
it's here's the thing about death. It's something that is what's the word? Inevitable,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
It's bound to
It's the
happen.
ultimate
Yeah,
truth.
it's ultimate. It's you know, this video is gonna live on.
Yeah.
Me and you are not.
Right.
You know, it's one of those things, and it might be today, it might be tomorrow, it might be when we hit 100 years old.
Right.
But we're all sharing the same destiny. So when I was in Moldova, I had a long conversation with my grandpa, who's pretty much in his last days now.
Yeah.
You know, and being able to speak with someone who's getting, so there's a difference between being sick and getting ready to die, or like terminally ill people with cancer and shit like that.
Yeah. When you know it's
When
coming.
you know, but there's a whole nother, it's a whole different scenario, I think, than when you've lived a full life and you know your time is coming to an end on like natural causes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that mindset, it changes a little bit. Then like when you're terminally ill, you feel like, fuck, I ran out of time early.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But when you're of old age, you feel like you've lived your whole time. Like this is the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've accomplished the lifeline. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And seeing the fact that he built his own casket.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't buy a casket. He
Oh,
built
wow.
his own casket.
Wow.
You know, like he almost like he's fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's you accept it in a way. And I think maybe to an extent when you become that old, man, maybe you get tired of this shit too.
Mm-hmm.
You ever thought about that?
Maybe.
You know, like
Yeah.
he seems like he's tired of fucking life already.
Well, the other thing is like a lot of your friends,
Yeah.
you know, your parents,
Yeah.
your siblings, a lot of them are gone. You know,
Yeah.
you said how old is he?
There's like almost 100.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
a lot of
close.
them are gone,
90s.
and you have the newer relationships. You know.
Yeah.
You know, in his scenario, this is your
My grandpa. My
mom's dad.
yeah.
In his scenario, you know, one of his kids is gone too.
Yeah.
Right. Your mother.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And so you're just like, what else is there to?
Well, he's got other kids.
Right.
He's got grandkids and great grandkids.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's more
There
to see.
there is, but maybe because I'm just elaborating on what you said.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess the other question is, would you want to live for like hypothetically 400 or 500 years?
Me personally,
Yeah.
probably not.
You know, same thing with me. I don't think I would want to live for that long because I think your relationships are gone. I know you could build new ones. You're building new ones. You could build it with the third, fourth, fifth, sixth generation. But I don't know, man. Something about the relationships that are from your younger era, you know, younger times, versus when you're building relationships when you're old. I don't know. I think
It's different.
They're different.
Yeah. I have friends that I've been friends since like kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we still talk today.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a different bond.
Right.
It's a different bond, you know? Like you grew up together.
Yeah.
You sprouted.
Yeah.
Almost from like not necessarily the same seed, but the same soil.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So
you have the same stories.
Yeah, you have the same story,
memories.
the same jokes, the same I remember that one dude, you know, remember that.
Yep.
And those are beautiful times, man. I think that even those end, you know, eventually they end.
Mm-hmm.
And I think who said this? Steve Jobs said this. He said that the life's greatest invention is dying, right? Because it kind of cleans out the old and makes room for the new. You know what I mean? And I think the reason why we have global conflict, like let's look real. Let's look at reality. We have a bunch of fucking 80-year-olds leading the world with ideas from the old.
Yep.
Trying to make they have old ideas, trying to create a path for new ideas.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work out that way.
Yeah.
You know, the truth is you have to clean out the old and make room for the new.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
What are we looking at time? We done or?
I think we got just a couple of more.
Couple more. Yeah. Well, you don't want to get paid overtime, Tech?
Yeah, you know, in my culture and my tradition, the idea of death is, you know, They say you take off one, like one, sick
Mhm.
takes off his clothing and just passes it on to the next
Mm.
one. Because the thought process is the same.
Yeah.
The thought process of, the fight for righteousness and truth is all the same between the first person and the second person. So your legacy lives on,
Yeah.
you know. So the legacy is what makes you immortal.
Mhm.
So the more you follow that thought process of the fighting for truth, justice, and you being an honorable person, human being, that's what's going to live on.
Yeah.
Right? And that's more important than you actually physically
No,
living.
100%.
Yeah.
I think we all have to kind of figure out what's the purpose. Like, we're going to the moon, supposedly. We're trying to go to fucking Mars. But the true question is, man, what is humans' purpose on this planet?
Yeah.
And not just this planet, but this lifeline.
Yeah.
Like what is the purpose? And I think until we figure that out, some are going to be evil, some are going to be good,
Yeah.
with the idea of leaving a legacy, right? Because immortality, like you said, essentially becomes you become immortal through a legacy,
Right.
right? And the legacy, the chase for immortality is almost like a human sin throughout history.
Yep.
And some people could leave a legacy through good,
Mm-hmm.
and some people could just get desperate and do bad shit,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that's not the true purpose. I
Right.
think we haven't figured it out yet.
Also, I think there's no point in living
Mhm.
for longer or forever if you're not truly living.
Yeah.
If your conscience is dead,
Mm-hmm.
You're, in my perspective, you're actually dead. You're not living.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. It's
The keeping the conscience alive, and again fighting for righteousness and
Mhm.
those bigger concepts are far more important than just walking through life,
it did
without a conscience.
when I wake up, I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
fuck it, let's get the day going.
Yeah.
Every morning,
Yeah.
I'm like happy.
Do you actually think about how you can contribute positively to the world?
I don't necessarily think about how I can. I'm just thinking about the things I do on a daily basis. I try to think that they're good things.
Mhm.
I don't wake up and say I'm gonna go fuck shit up.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of have my plan and my path and the destinations I want to get to,
Mm-hmm.
and the goal is to do good.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously make money along the way because
It helps in doing good.
I want to give a GTR,
There
and
you
it
go.
helps in doing good. But
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say, man, is that there's people, like how do people wake up sometimes? And I don't mean to talk down upon people, but fuck, I don't want to get up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, fuck, you're alive.
Yeah.
You could have been dead.
2 hands, 2 legs, man.
Yeah.
That's a blessing to start with.
You could have been dead.
Yeah.
Shit, you're alive.
Yeah.
And I wake up every morning, dude. I look up to two things. I look up to my daughter. Usually she wakes me up because she walks into my room,
Mm-hmm.
because I have like a newborn. So my wife sleeps with a newborn. I sleep in a different room.
Mm-hmm.
She just walks in and she says, Tata,
Mhm.
Tata. Like that means dad in Romanian.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing is obviously my cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I love coffee,
There you go.
So life is good, man. Life is beautiful.
Life is absolutely good.
Yeah.
Sometimes too good.
Yeah. Life is so good. I'm actually going to play volleyball today.
Awesome. Let's do it. I think we can wrap it up here.
Yeah, I think this is a good one.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Yep. Chronicles and Customs. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And this is not scripted. This is straight from the dome.
Straight up.
Yeah. So,
All right.
Until next time.
It's good?
Why the fuck are your legs under my seat?
Where else am I supposed to put them?
You want me to rub your foot while we're doing this?
Yeah. Foot massage, bro. I got one in Taiwan.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Did you like that shit?
It's the best, man. You ever got a foot massage?
No.
Bro.
Yeah?
It's worth it.
I got a back massage.
I'm sure you did. You lived in Vegas.
Chinatown.
Chinatown. Oh, shit.
I wasn't married.